I am summoning all the artistic youngsters and all the bored people from all the lands to join me in finding the use for our hands. In an appropriate way, of course. Let us draw cute spring things. So let's begin by deciding what kind of canvas we're going to be using. Today we're using a canvas with pixel width set at 1500, pixel height set at 2000, and DPI set at 300. Color palette. Color profile set as sRGB with a slow number, and we will hit done when we are ready. Now, if you want to use all the materials that will be mentioned in this tutorial, please go under the description, download everything when you did it. Let's go to our brush library. We'll go to the calligraphy folder and we'll choose monoline brush. As we want all of our lines to be very, very smooth, let's tap on the brush, go inside the brush studio, go under stabilization, and set the amount of streamline and amount of stabilization to the level that you see right now onto your screen. Of course, if you want to figure out it on your own, you can go to the drawing pad, try it out here, go and tweak these options until you find what you are looking for when it feels comfortable. When you are done, let's hit done. Let's go to our layers. Let's go to the background color. Let's go to this color palette that you downloaded, and let's go under cards. We will select this light grayish orange color to change our background, and then we will go to our color palettes to select dark pink red color. Now set the size of the brush of something around 6%, and let's begin working onto our first illustration. So let's begin and create a little flower. We will go to some of the corners. We will create the rounded shape like that. So hold your line at the end, hold one of your fingers on the screen to make sure that it is a perfectly rounded circle. Adjust the size by moving your Apple Pencil while you are holding everything that you are holding right now. And when you are done, lift up everything and let's create a little bit of the guiding lines right here. So go into our layers, creating one more layer on top, and straight away let's tap onto the N icon and adjust the opacity to something around maybe 40% or so. When we have it, we will go above the shape and we will create another circle right here, or some kind of a circle. Hold your Apple Pencil, hold one of your fingers on the screen, adjust the size so it's not too big, it's not too small. When it is something like that, let's lift up everything and let's go to this circle option on the top. This is our editing mode. Now let's move the shape so our previous shape will be in the center, and when we have it like that, tap on the screen, go back to your previous layer, firstly by going to the layers and selecting your previous layer, and then let's go and create the petals. So for the petals, let's go to this part that we've created on the top, and we will be starting by creating half of the ellipses like that. So don't go too far away from this guiding line that you've created. Be consistent with these shapes. Rotate your canvas so it will be easier for you to manage the rotation of the petals too. If you need to adjust it, go to the editing mode and tweak the nodes right here. Pay attention to the connections between your petals too, and overall go along the shape that you've created as a guiding line and create more petals going in that way. Rotate your canvas, as I mentioned before, hold your lines and the end, go to the editing mode, try to create something very, very nice and very, very cute here. Let's go along all of this shape that we have inside and along the shape that we've created as our guiding lines with our petals. So let's go like that. You can go with different sizes for these elements. You can go very consistent, be very consistent and create them in a very similar way or so. Go along this shape and create as many petals as you like. And when you have the last gap right here, let's go and nicely connect it with the first petal that we had right here. So if you need to go to the editing mode and adjust something here, go and adjust it, make nice connections. If you see that you will need to erase something, grab your eraser. Firstly, tap onto the layer, onto the canvas. Grab your eraser and erase the parts that you don't need, but make sure that the connection is nice between the parts. Now, when it is done, let's go and take a look at everything. Let's go to our layers, hide our layer with the guiding line. So we will tap onto the check mark right here. One more time, take a look at everything. And let's continue by going to our brush firstly, and we will go toward the bottom and create a little stem right here. So you can go with straight lines, you can go with a little bit of a diagonal lines right here to make some movement maybe here. Hold your lines at the end, create two parallel lines like that. And let's go to the bottom and create a rounder shape like that. Now, when we have it, we are done with the stem. Let's create the leaves on the side. So let's move slightly from the bottom and create the leaf like that. So creating half of it on the top and go into the bottom and connecting the shape with another similar shape to what we have on the top. Make sure that the connections are nice. If you need to work on them to create a solid line, go with your eraser and create it, and then create half of the circle right here onto the middle part. Now, when we have it on one side, let's go to the opposite side and create something similar here. You can adjust the rotation of the leaf or the size of it if you want to, and create the top part here too, similar to what you have onto the bottom. Make a nice connection again on the top and on the bottom and everywhere. And when you have it, go toward the middle part and create this dividing part of the leaf. Now, when we have the result like that, let's go toward the middle part right here and create the facial features. So firstly, we are going to our slider with the size, and we will need to remember the size that we are using right now to be consistent with all the illustrations that we are going to be creating today. So we will tap onto this check mark right here, that thing onto our slider, and you will see that you have a plus icon right here where I right now have a minus. So you will need to tap on it to have a minus too, and you will have a little mark down onto your slider. Now let's go to something around 25% of the size, and we will go toward the middle and we will put 2 dots for the eyes. Try to put them on one line. If they are a little bit off, try it out one more time, take a look at it from the distance, and then get back to your 6% of the size of the brush, and let's go inside the shape and create a little dorky mouth like that. If it's a little bit off, go to this option on the top, the editing mode, rotate it, adjust it, do what you need to do right here. When you are done, tap on the screen, take a look at everything from the distance one more time. If you like the results, let's go and create another illustration because we are done with our first flower. So let's get back to our layers, and we will create one more layer here. And also we will go and unhide our layer with the guiding lines right here, and we will go to our guiding lines layer. So let's get back to our brush, and we will go toward this area right here onto the right, and we will create 2 little shapes like that. So with one line, create a rectangle. If you want to go to the editing mode right here and select the actual rectangle right here, you are welcome to go and do that. You can adjust the size. So this size will be the size of the boot that we are going to be creating right now. So adjust it if you want to, if you must to adjust it. And when you have it, go toward the bottom part right here and create the new rectangle here too. So again, if you want, go to the editing mode, adjust it right here. Find what looks good. When you are done, tap onto the screen. And let's get back to our previous layer, the new one that we've created for this illustration. So getting back to our brush, and firstly going toward the top, and we will start by creating a little shape like that. So going along this top part, creating the rounded shape like that, but not too rounded. We will not need it to be very rounded. When you have it, we will go slightly to the bottom and create the similar shape, but this time looking in the opposite side. So when we have it, trying to make it similar to what we have on the top, and then we are going toward the sides right here and connecting everything with rounder shapes. So if you need to erase something to make it look nicer, you are welcome to go and erase everything that you don't need. Going toward the opposite side and creating the connection here too, working on it, making sure that the line is pretty nice and everything. And then we will go over the top and we will create kind of similar line to what we have on the bottom. If you are holding your line and if it snaps to a straight line, lift it up and go to the line option right here onto the top, the editing mode, and use the option arc right here. Adjust the curve so the line will be mainly similar to the line that you have onto the bottom. And when you have it, tap on the screen, and let's continue by going to these little lines right here. So firstly, we will go and recreate this little line, and then we will go toward the heel right here and create a slight curve right here. So if you need to have a couple of attempts right here, you are welcome to make it as many times as you need to. If you need to try it out from the top, for example, if it's easier, go and create it like that. When you have it, we will go toward this line. So we will need to do the same thing here, going closer to the intersection. And then we will go and create a rounder shape like that. So a big curve. If you need to adjust it, go to the editing mode, adjust it from here. When you have it, let's go to this little corner and we will turn it into a very soft curve right here too. So again, creating our curve, taking a look at it from the distance, using our editing mode to readjust it if we need to. When you found the shape that you like, let's go toward this line that we have right here onto the bottom part of the right, and we will elongate it like that. Now, when we have the result like that, let's go toward these parts. So we will step a bit from this little shape that we have onto the side. So we will be able to create a very nice corner right here. So let's create a very straight line like that. And when you have it, let's go and finish up everything by creating this corner right here. So creating a curve instead of this very straight corner and actually creating a connection right here. So when we have it, erase everything that you don't need with your eraser, make the line even everywhere. So creating something like that. And when we have this line, we will go towards the rest of the area right here, and we will create the bottom part here too. So first, let's go right here and create a little triangular part. So we will have the front part of our boot. So creating something like that, making sure that everything is nice and smooth, and finishing up by creating a very, very soft curve like that. So again, hold everything at the end of the line and make sure that you have a nice connection right here between the shapes. Erase the parts that you don't need. Try to make the line even everywhere weight-wise. So if you need to go over the line and create something like that, go and do that. Go along all of these strong corners if you have them, and all the lines that you don't need. Get rid of everything that doesn't look cute. So erase the parts that are not working for you. Make the lines very, very nice and very, very smooth and very, very cute. Now, when we have the result like that, let's get back to our brush, and we will go slightly above the shade that we have on the bottom, and we will create a curve like that. So hold your line at the end. Again, try to make it even everywhere. And if you don't like how it looks with the guiding lines, let's go and hide them firstly by going to our layers, tapping onto our layer where we have our guiding lines. And let's go and again create our facial features. So firstly, go into our slider with the size, adjusting it to something around 25% or so, and go in toward the middle part of the top and put in 2 dots for our eyes. Try to put them on one line. When you have them, go back to your 6% of the size of the brush and create a very small little mouth like that. When you have it, if you need to adjust it, go to the editing mode and adjust it. If you notice that you have some not so pretty lines, and you can go grab your eraser and adjust them, go and do that. When we have the result like that, we are done with our second lines for the illustration. Or if you want to adjust something, you are welcome always to go and adjust it. So for example, we can go and maybe soften up these little parts to lift up the whole shape, and maybe erase the parts that we don't need right here. So you can try it out. You are welcome to experiment right here and create your own illustrations. So work onto the lines, make sure that they all look very nice and very smooth and everything. They are even everywhere. They are looking smooth. If you need to go over the lines to make sure that everything is looking nice, you are welcome to go and do that too. Make nice connections. Take a look one more time. If you like this more, you are welcome to keep it. Now, when we are done with this illustration, let's get back to our layers. Let's create one more layer above our layer with our boot. And one more time, let's go to this layer where we have our guiding lines, and we will select it and we will unhide it. And we will go to our brush and we will go underneath the flower and we will create the rounded shape right here. So again, hold your line at the ends, adjust the size, and when you have it, let's go to the S ribbon icon. We'll use the freehand method. We will select this area like that, and then we will go to our arrow key on the top left. We will go to the warp option right here on the bottom, and we will be going to the corners right here. And we will be adjusting the shape so it will look very, very rounded and very, very strawberry-like. So adjust the shape by moving this bounding box around the overall shape that you have right here. Adjust the shape until you like the result. So we will need to have something very, very like rounded right here. So when you have the shape that you like, let's tap onto our S ribbon icon and let's get back to our layers, to this new layer that we've created. And with our brush, we will go and recreate these lines. We could have kept everything the same way as we created it with this warp option, but the lines are not pretty even right here. So they are a little bit adjusted, and we will need to have everything very nicely right here. So very nicely done right here. So connect everything with your brush, work with it, create nicely looking lines. So when you have them, let's go over the top so we have some space right here. And we will start by creating a little shape like that. So I will create the line right here too to finish up the shape, to create a nicer base for our strawberry. And when we have it, let's go toward the sides from this little leafy part that we've created, and we will create the first leaf like that. So when you have this first leaf, let's go to the opposite side, create something similar right here, and then we will go toward the bottom part and create 3 more leaves here. So let's go and create something going in that way. Doesn't need to be perfect. If it's looking weird, it's okay too. When we have the result like that, you can go and adjust it for your liking. So maybe we can go and create it in a smaller way. So you can see it's all like process right here. We can go and create different shapes. For example, we can go slightly higher or slightly lower right here and try it out one more time. So creating the shapes that will be some kind of hugging the overall shape of our strawberry. And we are again creating this line because we missed it. And we are going to the bottom and creating 3 more little leaves here again. Now, if you think that these lines are too big and too protruding, you can go and erase them with your eraser and do the same onto the opposite side too. Now take a look at the overall outlines of your strawberry. Decide whether you like it or not, whether you need to adjust something or not. When you are done, let's hide our layer with the guiding lines and let's go again to our brush. Let's adjust the size of our brush to again something around 25%, and let's go to the middle and put our dot right here for our facial features. When you are done, let's get to our 6% of the brush size and create a little mouth in the middle. Adjust it with your editing tool and find the placement for this mouth. When you are done, we are done with our strawberry. So let's move on again to our layers and create one more layer right here. We will go and create a little bee. So let's get back to our 6% of the brush and we will go again by creating a shape of the circle right here. So with one line, creating our shape, holding our line, holding our Apple Pencil at the screen, and our finger at the screen too. And when you have this first shape, let's go slightly towards the middle part right here, or slightly higher than the middle. And we will go and create the shape of the ellipse like that. So hold your line again at the end, go to the editing mode to squish it slightly so our overall shape of the bee will be very, very cute and very, very chubby. So find the size if you need to adjust the size. When you are at the editing mode, hold your Apple Pencil between the nodes and drag it more toward the center. So when you have the result like that, tap on the screen, go get rid of all the lines that you don't need with your eraser. So very, very accurately erasing the parts that we don't need. When we have these lines, let's go toward our brush one more time. Let's go to our head and we will create 2 little lines like that, one smaller, one bigger. And on the top, we will create rounded shapes right here. So you can again create it with one line. You can hold your line at the end. You can hold your Apple Pencil and then add the color inside. Do the same onto the second antenna here too. Now, when we have it, let's go towards the bottom right here and we will create a little rounded shape like that, a little sting right here. And going toward the very, very bottom and we will create very silly little legs right here. So let's go with the shapes like that. Straight away, you can add the color inside and create, for example, 4 of them. Now, when we have the base for our bee, let's go and create the facial features. So one more time, setting the size of the brush something around 25% or so, going and creating our big eyes like that. Maybe this time I will go slightly smaller with something around maybe 20% or so. Yeah, let's go with 20%. Let's create our eyes right here. And when we have the eyes, let's go again to the 6% of the brush and create a very cute little mouth like that. So find the placement for it. When you are done, let's go toward the top and create the wings right here. So for the wings, let's go and find the center or approximate center, and we will create the shape like that. When we have it, we will go toward the left side and we will create the quite smaller shape right here to add some kind of the perspective right here. So now when we have the bee, let's go again to our layers and create one more layer for the next illustration that will be a little umbrella. So for the umbrella, let's go toward the bottom part of our strawberry, underneath the strawberry, and we will create the shape like that. So going like that and holding our line at the end. When we have it, we will go toward the top and we will create a peculiar little shape like that on the top in the middle. And when we have it, from it, we will go down and we will create 2 lines going in that way. So one going on the left, one going on the right, and we will need to have some space in the middle. So if it's not happening from the first try it out one more time, create a nice little shape right here. And if you need to connect it in a different way, go to the editing mode and adjust it from here. Now, when we have these rounded shapes in the middle, we will need to go to the bottom and we will create the finishing parts of our umbrella. So create the curves like that, go toward the sides, make nice connections between these elements. And when you are done, let's go and take a look at everything from the distance. So if you have some elements that you need to adjust, go and adjust them. And when you have this thing, we will need to know where we need to create this bottom part of the umbrella. So firstly, let's go to our layers and unhide our layer with our guiding lines. And we will also go to this layer with our guiding lines. And we will go and we will cheat a little bit by creating 2 lines going down in that way. So now when we know where we need to put these lines, let's get back to our layer where we have the umbrella and let's recreate these lines right here. So repeating these 2 lines and then we will go toward the bottom and we will need to create the hook part. So let's go and do it in that way. We will go and create the shape going in that way firstly. So we will have the like a little bit of a protruding part, and when we have it we will get rid of these lines that we have right here. We have them onto our scheme, so that's okay. We will go to our brush one more time and firstly we are going with these 2 lines like that, and then we will create a hook. So let's go and create the rounded shape and connect it with our shape on the top. If we need to go to the editing mode and adjust it in any way, we will go and do that. So connect it nicely with your shape on the top, and then let's go down and create the bigger shape right here that will be similar to the one that you have on the left. So again, connect it nicely with the shape. Make sure that the overall look of this element looks nice. And when you have it, let's go and connect everything with the rounded shape like that. If you need to try it out a couple of times, go and do it. If you feel that maybe you can go and work manually onto this overall shape, you are welcome to go and do that too. All that we need is to create a hook looking little shape right here. So go with your eraser, go with your brush, create the shape right here. Erase everything that you don't need after you've created your outlines. Make sure that the overall outlines are looking nice and even everywhere and consistent too. So if you need to go over the lines, you are welcome to go and do that. When we have the result like that, let's get back to our layers. Let's hide our layer with our guiding lines and let's go toward this top part and we will add our facial features. So again, let's go with something around 20% of size. We'll put 2 dots for our eyes. We'll get back to our 6% of the size and create a little mouth like that. When we have it, let's go and work onto our next illustration. That will be our last illustration and it will be a little watering can. So let's get back to our layers, create one more layer here, and we will go toward the top and we will create a rounded shape like that. So hold it at the end, don't make it too open. So if you need to adjust the openness of the shape, go to the editing mode and adjust it. If you want, you can go slightly bigger with the shape and have more space over the right part. Now, when we have it, we will go to the bottom with the diagonal lines like that. So connect it nicely with the shape that you have on the top, and the shape that you have on the bottom will be probably a little bit bigger than the shape on the top. So when you have it, the 2 lines on the sides, let's go to the bottom and connect everything nicely with a curve like that. If you want to work maybe onto the corners right here to make everything softer, you are welcome to go and do it manually with your brush and with your eraser. Do it on both sides, so going like that, creating the very soft corners, erasing the parts that we don't need, and making sure that the lines are even and seamless and as if they've been there before. So when we have the result like that, let's slightly move it toward the left by using the uniform method and our arrow key on the top left. So again, we will need to have more space right here onto the right. When we have this space, let's go first toward the left and we will create a handle here. So going like that and creating a rounder shape, for example, or if you want to experiment, you can go and maybe adjust it slightly to your liking. When you found the shape that you like, let's go inside and let's create the thickness for this element. So basically repeating the first shape, but making it slightly smaller. If you see that you need to work onto some connections, go and work on them. And when you have the result like that, let's go to the opposite side and create this nose part. So for the nose, let's go and do the following. We will go slightly higher than the bottom part of our shape, and we will create the line going up in that way. Now we will grab our eraser and we will erase the part right here inside so it won't be messing with us. So creating something like that, maybe with a bigger size of the eraser, creating the part like that. When we have it, you also probably can go and make it slightly bigger. We will go again to our brush and we will go and create the line that will go to the top. We can make a bigger shape right here so it will go more toward the shape of our overall team. And when we have it, we will go toward the top and we will again create a rounded shape like that, slightly bigger than the nose part. So again, hold your line and the end, adjust it, go to the editing mode if you need to reposition it or do something with it. And then when you have it, we will go to the bottom and create a rounded shape like that. So again, connect it nicely with everything that you need to connect it with. Work onto the overall shape, take a look at it from the distance, maybe make it not that crooked. Maybe try to create it in a nicer way than I have it right here. So adjust it to your liking, connect it nicely with all the shapes that you have right here. If you need to manually go and connect everything in a nice way, in a more like appropriate way right here, let's go and do that. And also let's go toward the top right here and create another handle here. So we will go to the back firstly, and from the back we will go with the shape like that. So going with the curve and creating a shape like that. You can go and adjust it again through your editing mode. And when you have the shape that you like, let's go and create the thickness for this element again. So probably let's make it slightly smaller. And we will add the bigger shape right here over the top. So repeating the shape, going like that, and again go into our editing mode to adjust this shape that we've created. If it's not happening from the first try, try to create it in a nicer way so you will have less problems with your editing tool right here. So adjust it to your liking, make it smaller, make it bigger, make it nicer, make it decent. And when you have the result that you like, let's tap onto our screen and let's go and get rid of all the lines that we don't need. So we don't need these lines, so let's go and get rid of them. Let's make sure that the overall look is nice, and we will go toward this little tip right here and we will erase it too, making a nice connection with this shape onto the bottom. And we also will need to go right here to this part and erase this line here. When we have the result like that, we have the overall shape. So let's get back to our brush. Let's go to our size of something around 20% or so. And we will go and put maybe not 20, maybe 25 right here. We will go and put 2 dots and we will have our facial features right here. Go into the 6% of the size of the brush and create a little mouth right here. So find the placement for it, find the size for it and everything for it. When you are done, let's tap on the screen. Let's take a look at everything right here. And when you are satisfied with everything here, we are done with our lines. So we are ready to start adding our colors. So let's begin our coloring part firstly by going to our layers. And if you want to recolor them one by one, you are welcome to go and do that. I will show you how, but I will go and combine all of these lines together. So firstly, let's go select one of these layers, for example, the layer that we have on the bottom, and then we'll go for all of these layers and we will be swiping them from right to left. We will use the option group right here, and then we will hit the new group and swipe it from right to left to make a duplicate. Now, if you want to color them one by one, go to this group that you have on the bottom. I will hide it like that, and I will go to this group that we have on the top, tap on it and use the option flatten. So now everything that we have right here is on one layer, and when we have everything on one layer, let's tap onto the plus icon, grab this layer and drag it underneath our layer with the lines right here. So now when we did it, we will need to get back to this layer, tap on it and select reference from the list. And if you are doing it one by one, you will need to go to every layer that you have right here, create a new layer underneath, and use the option reference for every lines that you have right here. So when we have this reference on, we will get back to our new layer that we've created. We will go to our color palettes, and let's begin by selecting this light yellow orange color. Now let's go to our color little icon right here, and we will drag it toward the middle part of the flower and use the option continue filling on the top. Now we will go and recolor our bee, and we will also recolor our little umbrella right here. When we did it, let's go and tap onto our layers, create one more layer right here, and we will switch the color to, for example, orange, and recolor our flower and also our little woody parts right here onto the umbrella. Now, when we are done with it, one more time, let's go to our layers. I don't know how this happened, but it's okay. We can fix it later. So when we have a new layer, let's change the color to our yellow, which is actually our green color, and let's recolor all the greener parts. So again, continue filling and add the color to these elements. When we are done, going back to our layers, creating one more layer on top, go into our color palettes to switch the color to this pink red. With this color, let's go and recolor the inside part of our little boot right here, and then we will switch the color to pink red and recolor the rest of the boot and also our strawberry. When we did it, let's get back to our list, create one more layer right here, and we will change it to this light grayish cyan. So this is the color that we will need to recolor our watering can with. So let's go and recolor it right here, all the elements that we have, and also with the same color, we will recolor our little wings. Now, when we have it, tap onto this check mark. If you have some miscolored places, some small elements that you need to go manually and recolor, let's go and do that. And when we have the result like that, we are done with our basic colors. So let's go and add some beautifications. Firstly, go into our layers. We don't need reference anymore, so let's tap on it and use the option reference to turn it off. And then one by one, we will be going to our colored layers and we will be adding some additional little details. So we have this yellow one selected. Firstly, let's create one more layer above it. Let's tap on the layer and let's select clipping mask, so we will be able to stay inside the color right here. And we will go to our color palettes and select, for example, firstly this dark pink red color. Let's go to our bee and let's create the little shape right here that will be colored differently. So creating it with two parallel curves, and we don't need to forget to create the connection on the top. So we will need to firstly create these two little lines and then close the shape on the top like that, and then drag and drop the color inside. And we will also go right here near our bottom part and create this little element. We also could go toward this little part, but firstly we'll need to go to our little shape right here where we have yellow elements, select the yellow color and recolor this part here too, to be able to get back to our layer where we have these stripes and get back to our dark pink red color to recolor these elements. If you think that these elements are too bright, you are welcome to go tap onto your layer, tap on the N icon right here and adjust the opacity of this layer to the level that you prefer. And when you have the result that you like, let's go and work on the other elements. So firstly, let's create one more layer here. We will tap on it and we will use the option clipping mask one more time. Let's go to our color palette and select pink red color, and we will go to our little umbrella here and we will add some pattern in the shapes of the heart. Don't go too close to our shape, like the facial features shape, and we will need to add some details here too. Go to some blank areas and create a couple of these little hearts right here. So when we have the pattern done, let's go to our layers and let's go to our layer where we have the pink elements. Let's create one more layer here, tap on it, clipping mask, go into our color palettes to select light yellow color. And with this light yellow color, let's go right here to our boot and we will create some peculiar little details in the shape of maybe little stars, maybe little dots like that. So some kind of the glittery part. Now, when we are done with it, let's switch the color to light yellow orange. And with this color, we will go to our strawberry and we will add some little seeds right here. So again, going along the shape, not with the horizontal lines or very vertical lines, going along the shape, adding a bit of these details right here and not going too close to our facial features. So now when we have this, let's again get back to our color palette and switch the color to pink red, and we will go right here to our boots and maybe add a bit of the flowery part in here too. So going like that, adding a couple of details to add some interest to the picture, adding a couple of them one more time, finding the placement for these elements. Try not to overdo it with these flowers. We will need to add some kind of a subtle little pattern here. And when you are done, we can get back to our light yellow color and go inside these flowers to add these middle parts. So when we have the result like that, we are done with these colors. So let's go to our layers and go to our layer where we have our bluish elements, create one more layer here, tap, clipping mask, and let's use the darker yellow color, so light yellow orange, to create something right here. So we will go again and maybe create some kind of the flower right here or some other detail. It's up to you. Switch the color to light yellow, add this middle part. If you want to add some maybe glittery part or something like that, you are welcome to go and do that. And actually, let's go to our color palettes to switch the color to cyan blue, and we will go and add additional elements right here onto the top. So some kind of a watery part right here. When we have it here, we also can go and add it right here to add some kind of the shadow. And also, we will need to go and work on our facial features more. So let's go and make it even beautiful by adding the cheeks. So let's go above all the layers that we have. We will create one more layer here, and let's change the color to pink red firstly. So with this color and with the bigger size of the brush of something around maybe 30% or so, we will go underneath the shapes that we have for our eyes, and we will put the dots right here to create our cheeks. So let's go through all of the elements right here. Maybe some of them will need smaller size of the brush for the cheeks, so experiment a little bit, put the nice elements for the cheeks. And as for the strawberry, we will need to go with slightly different color right here because we have the same color right here for our main shape. So let's switch it to pink red, and we will go right here and put our dots for the cheeks with this color. And the very last thing that we will add here will be little sparkles inside the eyes. So let's get back to our layers. Let's go to our layer where we have our lines above it. So we will need to create a new layer, and we will change the color to white. Let's go and change the size of the brush to something smaller, and we will go inside the eyes and we will put little highlights inside the eyes. So you can go and experiment with different placements for these elements. Find what looks fun. Find what looks good. Probably some of them will need smaller size of the brush. So again, experiment a little bit, create something very, very nice and very, very cute right here. Let's go through all of the eyes that we have right here and create these peculiar little details. And when you are done with the very last element right here, we are done with our illustration. I hope you are proud of your result. Share it on socials and tag me so I can see your beautiful creations. And if you enjoyed this video, you can find more similar kawaii tutorials on my Skillshare or on Patreon at the link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.